time to eliminate that annoying wrist pain. Strengthen your wrist and forearms with these exercises and routines so that you can perform your exercises and daily tasks with no problem. So you're going to need a resistance band for the first routine that I'm going to take you through. Make sure the resistance band, is quite strong, not too strong where you can't control it. You can buy these online in a singular packet, or you can get a whole set, and they're quite inexpensive. Attach your resistance band to a pole or something, you can just wrap it around it. That's not going to move, that's not going to break when you add resistance to it. So once you do that, move on to the next step, and you want to grab the resistance band in a hammer-like motion and face forward, arms by your side, and move your arms back slowly, making sure to keep tension on the wrist throughout the whole movement. Keep your arms straight. Do not try to use your elbow to assist in the movement. All the work should be taking place in your wrist. Now you want to make sure that you're doing this at a steady pace and you're not allowing the resistance band to control your wrist. You're controlling it both when you're pulling forward and releasing it back towards the wall. Next, you're going to turn around and face away from the wall, pole, or whatever you're using, and do the exact same motion. When you perform both these motions, you're working both the flexor tendons and the extensor tendons on both sides. Remember, control is key here. Do not let the resistance band control your wrist. You really want to make sure that you are allowing those tendons to do both the work on the eccentric and concentric movement. The next exercise is we're going to do some supinated wrist curls. You can use your hands to brace your wrist, just to make it more easier for yourself. You want to pull your wrist all the way up and release it back down slowly. Again, control the movement and do it on both sides. Even if one wrist isn't hurting, you want to make sure that you're also preventing injury as well. So perform them on both sides. Don't just do one wrist. Make sure both sides are getting worked. For all these exercises, you want to make sure that you're doing a decent amount of reps, not too low, but also not too high. I like to stick in a rep range between 10 and 20, depending on the resistance band that I'm using. I will usually perform about 3 or 4 sets of these and then move on to the next exercise, which is the pronated wrist curl. This is going to work a different set of tendons in the forearms and the wrists. You want to make sure that you're targeting everywhere. So doing supinated is great, but make sure you also perform the pronated version as well. Again, using your arms to brace your wrist or your forearm, wherever you want to place your hand, to make sure that you're getting a full contraction on the way up and are able to control it on the way down without the movement at the elbow. The next exercise that you want to do is bicep curls or pronated curls, whatever you want to call them. These are going to target the forearms, which again are attached to the wrist. So strengthening the forearms is essentially going to help strengthen those wrists, reduce injury, and you'll be able to grip things harder and for longer. You do not have to use a kettlebell like I'm using. You can use a dumbbell, you can use a book, water bottle, anything you feel is necessary. Next, we're going to move on to the wrist stretches, and this is going to help stretch the outer part of the wrist, all the tendons there, getting a nice stretch. You pull and hold on your fingers and just hold it for a decent amount of time, 30 seconds, a minute, however long you feel is necessary. But you want to perform this before you start exercising and also after as well, to really stretch those tendons so that you don't feel pain when performing exercise. And then you want to do the opposite and work the outside of the forearm on the wrist and just pull up on your fingers using the other hand to help again stretch the tendons there and warm up that area so that when you're performing certain exercises, you're not feeling pain. Remember, warming up is very, very important. Stretching is very important. Then you want to come onto the ground, and this again is a great way to warm up your wrist before you start. And you just place both wrists on the ground, palms facing towards the ground, and you just want to slowly rock onto your wrist and then rock back, allowing them to gain some proprioception before you start exercising. And the following as well, put your wrist on the ground with your palms facing upwards, and again just getting that nice stretch, leaning back slightly with all that extra added body weight pressure. 2 great exercises that you can do. You can also do it single-handedly to add even more pressure and control it even more. And these again are going to reduce injury, add more flexibility, and also mobility in the wrists. The final exercise that you can do, I don't know exactly what these are called, but I just like to call them, I don't know, wrist roll-ups or whatever. You can use any object you can find that has a decent amount of weight. Use a bit of rope and attach it to a bar made of anything, and you just want to roll it up and down, strengthening all the little muscles around the wrist and also the forearm, and it's really going to help to build up that lower arm strength. Great exercise. You can use absolutely anything to do it, so there's absolutely no excuses. Try this exercise out. Let me know what you think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.